Like I said, optimistic.
All right. Now I'm going to make you host. Where are you? The time. Where is it? Make host. Where is it? Where is it? Make host. You're now the host.
Ah, there we go. Perfect. So we will let Diane in. And Angie, come on in. Angie, Diane, welcome.
You guys can unmute if you'd like. There's very few of us here where we have to worry about that.
Yes, you're invited if you want to come on screen. That'd be awesome sauce. Now, if we're
I guess we're
recording
not.
over tech issues, who knows, right? Let's see. If you can come over, if you can say hi or even pop into the chat, let us give us a thumbs up and know that you're alive and with us, not a bot or something cute. That would be awesome. Thank you. Now, I will get the party started. Today, I am so excited. This is SidFit. This is the bootcamp qualifier. This is where we really, really get to go deep dive, answer some questions, figure out some of the topics that are not just topical to everybody, but really, really of power and of concern and of interest right now. And I'm blessed enough to be able to have with us the man, the legend himself. This is Sid Anderson. So he's a renowned fitness and lifestyle coach. He's been passionately helping over 20 years experience in fitness and wellness, prestigious certifications, personal trainer, National Council for Personal Trainers, certified personal trainer on several different levels by the International Sports Science Association as well. So he is a man who lives and breathes and walks that fit life and that joyful vitality that he exudes. And so we're blessed enough and happy enough to have him here talking with us today, going through some of the cool things that we really, really don't get to hear from anyone else that's walking the walk and talking the talk. Sid, add some meat to the bones, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. If you guys don't know me, you just have seen my LinkedIn persona, you'll think that I'm new into the wellness space, but I started my first fitness business, my God, in 1999. Uh, well, no, 1990, I'm sorry. And I held it for 16 years in Chicago, Illinois. Retired that business in 2006 when I moved to Dallas to perform some work for International Bank, utilizing some of my other skills. But when it comes to wellness, nutrition, meditation, all these forms and modalities, these have been a passion of mine since I was a child. And so obviously, when I was experimenting in diet and vegetarianism and so many other nutritional modalities as a teen, my family thought that I was out of my mind. Now that I'm in my 60s, what I'm finding is that as folks are experiencing some of the illnesses that come with maturity, they're starting to realize that what I was teaching and
Mm.
preaching all of these many decades has come to fore and is now valuable information. So it's best that we start to focus on these pillars that, for instance, I have written about and established based on my many years of study. It's best that we start focusing on these pillars as early in life as possible so that we do not become wards of the hospital state, so to speak, where we
I
are
love that. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. Well, I make this up as I go along, man. So,
I like that.
excuse
Okay. Okay. So
excuse
let's
me
go
for
around.
riffing and improvising.
No, you're supposed to. This is supposed to be, and it's a blessing that we're having a roundtable discussion. This isn't a lecture. We're not here to sell, teach, preach. No one's here to do any of these things. It's not a webinar or workshop. It's really a wonderful roundtable discussion where we get a chance to hear, talk. Everyone gets a chance to go. As a matter of fact, Diane, if you have 30 seconds, if you want to introduce yourself, say hi, where you're calling in from.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Because I'm in a very low place right now. Can you guys hear me well? Okay,
Yes.
perfect. All right, yeah, I'm calling from calling in from Florida. I'm originally from Guyana, as you can hear from my accent. But
Very,
yeah,
very,
I've been
very
following
familiar.
Sid. I've been following Sid for a while, and I do admire and try to take a book out of his page to, when it
Mm.
comes to his health and wellness, the way he eats. I've been following his menus and stuff like that. So I'm very impressed because I myself am trying to improve my wellness, my way of life, my
Mm.
lifestyle when it comes to my diet and overall health. So, I kind of watch silently, but still take a leaf or two out of his book when it comes to my eating habits. So I must say to Sid, thank you. I appreciate you sharing stuff that can help change the life of other people. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're very
And I
welcome.
know Sid. I know Sid very well. So
I know,
yeah,
stranger. It's been a while.
it's been a
Nice
while.
try.
Yes, nice seeing you. Nice seeing you on here.
Well, Diane,
Thank you.
I'm currently in Nairobi, Kenya.
Okay.
I've been traveling internationally, and while I'm here, I'm making friends,
Yeah.
collaborating with the running community, both enthusiasts, clubs, and running professionals, coaches. And I'll be in this region in East Africa in February, participating in a marathon event at Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
I see you've fallen well into your purpose. Yeah,
Well, that's the idea. And I finally reached a page in my life where I can do what I believe I'm meant to do. And that is to
yeah.
share this message to all that will hear and not be concerned about outcomes, but simply fulfill my purpose.
I bet.
Sid,
And it's by I think great that I have, checked in onto my LinkedIn because usually I really I'm not on that space a lot. And I went on LinkedIn and I was like, damn, wow, I really need to catch up. There's a lot going on here. And then I stumbled on your information. I was like, this is something that I want to be a part of. This is something that, it would spark my interest. So just, check it out. But I wasn't sure how, it would have been taken by you, but I'm happy that, you followed up with me and I received follow-up information that of the Zoom and timing and everything. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Very welcome. And Natan, I provided you with a quick outline that I wanted to discuss today. Um, what I'd like to do then is just go over it quickly. We could spend the time talking about it. I think it's pretty
sure.
important for anyone in the future, especially as we're going to turn this into a recording that we can now share on LinkedIn
Yep.
and elsewhere, which I'll provide to you so that your team can share with the world after we spend the next 35 minutes. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen, and I believe you can see, if you can, participants can now see my screen. I have
Yep.
a simple statement here called plan your work, work your plan. This is something my mother used to say to me all the time.
I
And
like that.
so, yeah, she used to say,
That sounds
Professor,
wise.
that's how she said, Joe or Professor, plan your work, work your plan. You can do anything you set your mind to. I love that about her. And so, considering that I am working myself up to another half marathon, 21K race in February, I wanted to go over how I go about setting goals for myself and bringing it to manifestation so that anyone listening to my voice and watching this recording in the future, wherever you are, I hope it inspires you to think of it in these terms and follow these steps so that you can start to manifest your dreams and what you would
Mm.
like for yourself. So I start, as I say in number one, start with your goal. Now, what you're seeing highlighted in yellow, I used my own case. where I am going to participate in an event at the highest peak in Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro, on the 23rd of February in Tanzania, a neighboring country just south of where I am in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm
Mm.
participating in the 21K or 13.1 mile half marathon event on the same morning as the full marathon is occurring, where some elite runners will be running 42K or 26.2 miles. And then for families with young people and all that, and just running enthusiasts, there's also a 5K event occurring later that morning. All right. So the race is on February 23rd. So you start with your goal. For someone else, if you look at the highlight in blue, that might be, say, weight loss. Or let's say someone is coming back from a heart incident and their doctor asked them to start getting fit. You might want to be able to climb stairs. Or maybe it's someone who wants to become a runner. And so they want to create a couch to 5K program. A 5K is
Mm.
3.1 miles, and they may want to go from being someone who never ran into someone who, in the next, say, 3 months, can run a 3.1 mile course without stopping. That we call that couch to 5K. So first you start with a goal.
That's cool.
Okay. Then we set, as you see in number 2, we set realistic timelines. Now, for me, I looked at the date. I realized I was about 15 weeks back. I was already running 3 days a week. So I said, well, we're going to start formal training 12 weeks in advance of this event. And because I'm a certified running coach with over 38 years experience running,
Mm.
it didn't take very long for me to take prior plans that I had constructed, as well as plans that I've shared with reputable organizations like the Chicago Area Runners Association, running coaches here in Kenya, uh, plans that I have implemented within the city of Chicago as a volunteer coach, for instance, with the Peace Runners in Garfield Park on Chicago's west side, where we had over 80 finishers this last June 2024, at the half marathon 13.1 mile event. Over 84
That's cool.
finishers, over 80 finishers. I believe it was 84. I don't want to be incorrect, of our squad that went through my training program that I designed finished the event. They finished the race. Huge
Right on.
success in an underserved community on Chicago's west side. Very proud of the other coaches and leadership at Peace Runners 773 in Chicago. Quick shout out to those guys. Let's make sure we tag them when we post this up on LinkedIn and Instagram. But anyway, congratulations to those guys. But I had a 12-week training plan for them as well. I took that training plan, which I went through with them, and I also ran in that race on June 9th, and I got a personal best, personal record from it. Now I'm in a country that I'm at altitude high up above sea level, and I want to try to beat that personal best this February. So I've got a goal set. So anyway, so I've got a 12-week training plan. Now, if someone wanted to lose weight, if you look at the blue, we would set goals for, say, 3 months and 6 months based on their
Okay.
fitness level, what their personal habits are. And we would set goals for how much weight or how many inches off their waist that they wanted to lose. And we'll do our best to try to meet those goals. Then we construct our strategy. Now, in my case, and if you look in A for number 3, a progressive periodized running and strength calendar, which is exactly what I have. I have a calendar from Sunday through Saturday over the next, so I'm already 2 weeks in. Today started week 3, over the next
Okay.
9 weeks and 6 days. Please go ahead, Natan.
No, no, no. I'm just listening. I'm hanging in.
Okay. And so I have a running schedule that includes a training run on Mondays, which I completed this morning. On
Okay.
Tuesdays, I do a short treadmill run, a 2 mile to 3 mile treadmill run, plus weight training for strength. On Wednesday, I have track day. That's where we go to the track. And each week, I have a specialized running program. Last week, for example, I ran 10 400-meter, how would you call it, intervals with a walking rest in between. And these Wednesday track workouts get more and more challenging. By week 7, I'll be doing a 3,000-meter time trial, which will kind of let me know what my tempo is while I'm still 5 weeks out from the race. And that is where we assess progress. That leads to number 4. But I designed my own calendar on how to do that. Now, if someone was trying to lose weight, we would come up with an exercise program, say 3 times a week, which would definitely include strength training, as well as some cardiovascular effort would be involved also, even if it's simply
Okay.
walking. Even if it's simply walking, everybody doesn't have to be a runner or a biking or just whatever. All right. But
Okay.
we would put that together, and then we'd start monitoring their nutritional macros. How much processed food are they eating? Don't lie.
Yeah.
And then we'd start to make
Well,
sure
let
that,
me ask you, because
sure.
processed food is it's obviously, well, that's the question. How obvious is it? Like, I know the obvious stuff. If it's in a box, if you opened a bag, if you could leave it on your shelf for 3 weeks, needless to say, that's processed food. But is there some that's almost disguised? Is there like some processed food that's sneaky and you're like, hey, I didn't think that was processed? Or is it all pretty obvious?
What does process mean? When you chop up vegetables like I did for dinner tonight, carrots, broccoli, other things, and put it in the air fryer with some ghee, salt, and pepper. When I did that, I processed some food. Okay.
Fair.
What we're really worried about is what we call ultra processed food. And that's where the product that we eat no longer is food or resembles food, and the ingredients are not made from food. That's what
Jeez,
I'm afraid of. When
that's scary.
something, so all you have to do is look on the label. Uh, if it has one ingredient, like apples, that's what you have, apples. If it says carrots, that's what we have, carrots. Potato, that's what it says, potato, yam, sweet potato. That's one word ingredient. All right. Now, if we have something that starts with emulsifier, polysorbate, blah, 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 propylene glycol, if it starts with a lot of chemistry, that's an ultra
It
processed
is.
food. And
Okay.
that's what we would like to avoid having accumulate within our bodies in our daily diet. We can't control everything that we eat because we have to eat out a lot. And we're not always in control of the ingredients that are being used by those that prepare our meals. So, secondly, the more meals you prepare at home means the less ultra processed food you will eat. So, first, most things that are in boxes with a paragraph worth of ingredients in small print, those are things that we'd like to eliminate completely or avoid as much as possible. Secondly, somebody's got to get in the kitchen because food is going to have to be prepared, even if that means
Yay.
even if that means preparing some large meals on the weekends when you have time so that you can either freeze it or refrigerate it or partition it in different
Okay.
Tupperware containers so that you can have meals during the week when you don't have time to spend 45 minutes in the kitchen performing prep and cooking. Okay. So
Yeah, you got to plan ahead.
that's what we try to do. And that's where we construct our strategy. That's what we have to talk about is how we're going to monitor this, make sure that you're getting enough protein to satiate your appetite so that you're not constantly snacking between meals, which is a sign of 2 things. One, you're not eating enough protein to cause satiety, and instead you're filling up on starches and carbohydrates, which rather than
Okay.
cause satiety or release the hormone leptin, they're releasing ghrelin, which makes you want to eat more. That gives you the food cravings where you have to put something in your mouth. So we'd
And
like,
it's ravenous, right? Like you're going to just eat way too much on ghrelin.
right. And that's not the same. That's a craving. That's not the same as real hunger. When you're
Okay.
experiencing real hunger, you have a feeling where you can say to yourself, I could eat, but you're not in a panic. Your mind's not wrapped up and twisted and spinning. You're calm. And even after I've fasted for 16 hours, I have the wherewithal to go over to the counter, chop up food, whip some eggs, slice a little cheese. You see what I mean? Prepare a salad, get out some kimchi. Because I'm not in a state of craving, I have hunger, but it does not cause that kind of physical and mental discomfort where I can't even think straight and I have to force something into my mouth like a drug addict would,
Mm,
which is the problem with the ultra processed food diet is that it exploits the addiction mechanism, the dopamine receptors of the brain, the blood sugar. It hijacks those mechanisms, resulting in us being metabolically unfit and driven by cravings, not by actual hunger. As long as you're,
Interesting.
as long as you're driven by addictive cravings, you'll never be able to control your weight, your waistline, or be able to become metabolically flexible, where your body can access its own fat stores, which is what this fat is around our midsection. That's storage energy meant to be used. But if your insulin's constantly high because you're eating highly processed food that's filled with sugar, fructose, carbohydrates, that keep your blood sugar rising, your body tries to regulate that by producing insulin. Chronically high insulin, which is a fat storage hormone and a growth hormone, is why you can't lose weight. So you have
Mm.
to reduce the number of meals, increase the protein, reduce the cravings that come from eating a high carbohydrate, well, even more than that, a high ultra processed food diet.
Okay.
And then when you're able to do that, you're able to implement, for instance, a proper nightly fast, which is what the body is evolved to do, is eat during the day, and then you should be in a fasting state at night. While you sleep, your body clears out metabolic waste, byproducts. It does healing and repairs. The brain refreshes itself by flushing out or taking out the trash, so to speak. The fluid in the brain, the cerebral spinal fluid in your brain, which is a mixture of lymph fluid, and then they use the term glia, which is for the brain cells. It's called glymph. The glymph fluid is
Mm.
renewed and refreshed so that when you wake up in the morning, you don't have brain fog, but a clear, sharp mind ready to engage in the day. That, in order to enjoy those benefits, you need to have given yourself a few hours between your last meal and bedtime so that you can have a long enough time of digestive rest where those renewal processes throughout the body, our brain, our liver, our blood sugar, and our hormones, so that they can normalize and perform their nightly assigned functions. Now, if you're filled up with a lot of food and you ate ice cream right before bed that has emulsifiers and chemicals in it, extremely dangerous. Many nutritionists in the know will tell you why. If you're doing that before bed, you're not allowing your body enough digestive rest to perform its recuperative processes. You'll wake up
Mm.
tired, groggy, you're not ready, you're in a bad attitude, you're depressed, uh, the stress hormones are too high, you're going to crave
And
more.
that's from eating ice cream the night before, or is that from eating anything the night before?
That's from having a lifestyle that doesn't allow you enough digestive rest to reset itself.
Mm.
So it doesn't have to just be ice cream. Okay. The fact is that when you lay down to go to sleep, you shouldn't have food on your stomach. Okay. What's it going
Okay.
to do when your body tries to shut down and you have undigested food still in your stomach? You're causing your body a lot of homework to do, and it can't get around to the processes that it should be doing at night. We're spending what? During the day while we're eating, we're spending 60 to 70% of our metabolic energy digesting food. So giving
Mm.
your body that rest has a number of beneficial functions that occur in the body. I was recently, first week of November, I was at the coast, the Indian Ocean coast here in Kenya, in Mombasa. Uh, it's along the coastline. And I took a week to do some more extended fasting. I had, for
Okay.
instance, in October, third week of October, contracted a stomach bug that caused me
Oof.
all types of discomfort. The doctor gave me
Oof.
a pill that gets rid of parasites and stomach bugs. But when it does that, it not only gets rid of the stomach bug, but it wipes out all of your intestinal flora. So I wanted to reset my intestinal flora, my microbiome, whatever word you smarty pants wants to use. But
I love it.
in order to take advantage of that, I had to make sure that I did at least 18-hour fasts, of which I did a couple during that week I was on the beach in Mombasa. After 18 hours of fasting, which is overnight, and going into the next day, not eating, just having water or a tea with no sugar or anything added, or coffee with nothing added, drinking it black, doing that, your body is able to release stem cells that course throughout your body and repair your gut lining, to be truthful, after about 18 hours in almost every person. So I
Okay.
knew that I could reset my gut lining, make those repairs after having that horrific intestinal enteric disturbance down there, which was very, it was like Montezuma's
Wow.
revenge times 20,
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, got a hold of some bad water or bad food. But I took the time to do that fasting, and it reset my body clock, my sleep schedule, my
Okay.
digestive schedule when I go to the bathroom. It set everything right. And it's
Interesting.
been perfect ever since I performed two 18-plus-hour fasts. I
So
was
it'll self-regulate. That's very cool.
Your body will do that, but most people cannot perform those fasts because they have such intense food cravings because of their carbohydrate addictions. So
Mm.
if we go back to constructing your strategy and then for assessing progress, if you look at the blue, we're talking about guiding people along to teach them how to wade through those addictive cravings, how to tamp them down while they alter their diet so that they can become more metabolically healthy. The scientific terms are going from insulin resistant to becoming insulin sensitive. Those nightly fasts lower your insulin overnight. Once you have a lower insulin baseline, even if you did accidentally eat some processed food, you won't have the same spike as if you had been eating this all along, if you hadn't had
Okay.
digestive rest. So you're going to start to see benefits once you're able to fast anytime nightly over 12 hours. If you can get to sweet 16 hours a night, well, you're going to start seeing results in your waistline, even if you're letting some junk food into your diet. So if we could
That is
start to
all
get,
part of SidFit. I like it.
yeah, if we could start to get,
Let me ask you, can you move your camera over? Because we stop at the number 4. You're, I think, camera and camera.
where are we?
If you can see if you can take yourself picture out of picture, because it stops at number 4. We can't see below you, but we can see your face.
All right.
Or maybe move yourself to the left or right.
Hang on. Let's see how you do. Oh, here we are. All right. Let me go back.
And of course, everyone both who registered for the event and who's here with us, thank you very much. You'll all get a copy of this. Make sure you grab a one-on-one. I'm going to put in the chat right now Sid's contact info. I'll put my contact info there as well. So reach out
Please
and grab a
do.
time.
Okay.
There we go.
So I'm out of the way now. Are you guys looking at my pillars of fitness?
Yes.
Outstanding. As you can see, what I've been discussing with you guys um, has been mostly talking about digestive rest versus diet. That LCHF that you see on the right is for low carbohydrate, high fat. Uh, Keep in mind that protein is essential. Fat is also essential, which means that you have to eat it. The body doesn't produce it itself. However, your blood sugar, your body can create its own blood sugar. So those carbohydrates that we think are so necessary are absolutely not necessary. The body does not need it. It is not an essential macronutrient. Okay. So you don't have to have toast with your eggs and sausage. You do not. You can substitute a salad, have some kimchi or something, maybe something fermented that helps to boost your intestinal bacteria, your healthy bacteria instead. Just so you
Let
know.
me ask you, while you mentioned the fermented foods, things like kimchi, which is a fermented food, different than something like, let's say, a pickle, which is brined.
Yeah,
Or it,
that's a good question. I would think that if you pickled things yourself, you would probably be in a better position to enjoy it. But I would
okay.
not say that all pickles are created equal. So you better read the
Right.
ingredients and see what we're talking about. Um,
Okay.
Many things are fermented that people take for granted. For instance, apple cider vinegar, which I like to take a tablespoon or two with a little water, at around bedtime. I don't know why I like it, but I like to do that. And many people
Neat.
consider that medicinal to have some apple cider vinegar to keep their pH right. I'm sure a lot of ladies can benefit from that when they're concerned about their pH. Um, what else? Yogurt, for instance. Sure, yogurt might has some cultures, but if you're eating a yogurt that's loaded with sugar, like the flavored
Yeah.
yogurt, then you may be
Yeah.
going into a territory where you're not receiving a lot of benefit. You may want
Yeah.
to go with a whole fat plain yogurt or a kefir, which I believe may even have a higher bacteria probiotic content. Uh,
Yep.
I
Kefir, my
prefer,
kind of people.
yeah, yeah. So plain whole fat yogurt, Greek yogurt is a
Yeah.
good choice. If you're one of those do-it-yourselfers, there are kits and information on how you can get the best gut bacteria and do it yourself. I think that's pretty exciting. Um, I use kimchi every day. I use plain yogurt with a handful of berries or something some evenings, a little cinnamon, maybe even a little honey to treat myself. But that's because I've been at my ideal weight now for about 5 years. And so I'm no longer as concerned about my metabolic fitness as, say, someone who is generally overweight, pre diabetic, or diabetic and under a doctor's care. They may
Mm.
require more strict guidelines while they reverse their insulin resistance and their obesity. Okay. Today we didn't have an opportunity to discuss meditation and group accountability or movement, rest and recovery so much, although I did mention the advantages of rest because you need
Mhm.
rest. Doctor sleep is my secret weapon as to why I'm able to even participate in these events in the decade of
Doctor
life.
sleep. I like that.
It
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in a decade of life that most people have lost their ability to even be athletic, let alone compete. So anyway, I'll wrap this up. I know that time um, can move quickly, and
I like this.
I
This is
want
going
to
great.
I want to allow you the opportunity to ask me a few questions. So, assessing progress, for instance, in my case, I assess progress daily and weekly because I'm training. And I'm training also with
Okay.
others that are also going to Tanzania for this event. So we're sharing notes about our progress, track workouts all the time. So I'm surrounded by other coaches. Now, if I'm working with someone, weekly and monthly weigh ins are about as much as you want to get on a scale. You'll just drive yourself crazy weighing yourself every day. Um,
Okay.
because your body will have different water volume changes over time, you'd be better off just measuring your waistline once a week than weighing in on the scale daily. You know, uh, if your
Interesting.
if your navel circumference is reducing, your clothing is fitting more loosely, you know you're making progress. Even if in your first month or two, even if you gained a couple of pounds, a kilogram or two, um, but if your waistline shrank, then your body composition is moving in the right direction. You're losing visceral
That's okay.
fat. Yeah, you're losing visceral fat. You're increasing blood volume and muscle mass, and maybe even some bone density. So there should be some weight gain while there's fat loss. Quality body mass should be increasing. Uh, Natan, what did Diane put into the chat?
I see. Hi, guys. I'm driving. Oh, thank you for that. On
Okay.
my way to work. So here, still listening. No worries. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
thanks for coming on board and listening today. It gives me great encouragement. It's quite edifying for an old friend to jump on and just say hi. I greatly appreciate it, Diane. Lastly, or near lastly, number 5, I wrote down adjust and repeat. Like any process, be it in marketing and business or losing weight or training for an event, you're going to run into some roadblocks. If you're training for a race, I might be doing something wrong, or it might be something wrong with my gait, where I'm not practicing correctly. And I'll start to get a little pain or discomfort, or start to get a strain in my joint somewhere, and that has to be addressed. And so I make adjustments as I go based on injuries that might be brewing, any pains. If I'm overtraining, it will interrupt my sleep. And I'll know that my sleep quality has been affected. And I'll realize, God, I'm going too hard. I need more rest days.
Wow.
I need more doctor sleep. You know,
Okay.
I'm not giving myself enough time to recover. So that's very, very important. So if someone is, let's say they're getting their health back, they're losing weight, they're preparing some foods at home, they're improving their lifestyle through these incremental lifestyle changes, we're
Okay.
graphing their weight, we're graphing the changes in their waistline. I like to do navel circumference, uh, just the waistline around the navel, your midsection. I like to track those changes because that tells me how much visceral fat we're finally ridding the body of by using nightly fasting and by reducing the amount of strain that we're putting on the pancreas and the liver.
Okay.
Or improvements in strength. If we've got somebody lifting weights and they're using 10-kilogram dumbbells and now they're using 12s and then they're using 15s over the course of 2 or 3 months, let's track those improvements in strength. If someone starts to lose weight and then after 4 months it stops and they're plateauing, we have to assess what they're doing with their diet and what next steps will be in order to take them past that. Or if they've backslid and they're cheating and lying to themselves and their coach about the fact that they're now back to eating, a half carton of ice cream every night before they go to bed. It'll show up.
Speaking of which, we've got a question in the chat.
Okay.
So the question is, what time is the best to use a probiotic? I've started using kefir recently and I find it to be great for me, but should I use it last thing before bed or first thing before dinner?
You're talking about a probiotic in a pill form? What kind?
No, the kefir. The
Oh,
kefir.
well, let's be honest with ourselves. If you listened carefully to what I was saying, it's that you wanted to start your fast 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Now that's if you're a person that sleeps at night. Remember, everybody has a different work schedule. We have to make adjustments for your individual life needs. However, if you stop eating at 7 p.m., I think I finished dinner tonight at 8, a little late for me, but I finished the dinner at 8. So I'm not going to go to bed at 8:30 or 9. I want to give my
Okay.
stomach a chance to digest the grass-fed
Good.
beef that I ate, along with salad and kimchi, and I had a little rice with broccoli and vegetables that I air fried in ghee and salt and pepper and onion and garlic. And I want to digest that food. So I'm going to give myself 2 or 3 hours time since before I lay down. So that gives me time to decompress, turn off lights and get rid of devices, let my body start to wind down into a state where I can have a sound and restful sleep. So obviously, if I'm going into a fasted state, I wouldn't be taking a probiotic food, eating a complex food during the time that
Okay.
I'm supposed to be emptying my stomach. Does that make sense? During your meal time, when you're in your eating window, have at it. Have your probiotic. You should have, as Dr. Amy Shah says, you should have 3 servings of probiotics daily, along with 30 grams of protein at the very least for breakfast. And she's talking to women that are over 40. Uh,
Mm.
30 grams of protein in your first meal, 30 grams of fiber, and 3 servings of probiotics during the time that you're eating your meals. Now, after you've eaten your meals, you're now in a fasted state. So, no, you're not taking probiotics when you're fasting. You're fasting.
Okay.
You can have water, you can have some green tea, but you're fasting now. Good night. Let your tummy, let your insides rest. After they rest, you get up in the morning. If your blood sugar and your insulin is low, you won't be starving in the morning either. Get up and do some chores. Get a little exercise in a fasted state.
Before you eat.
Accelerate,
Okay.
accelerate that autophagy. Get those benefits. Then sit down and have a hearty meal to start your day, to break your fast, which is what breakfast meant. Break your fast. And when you're breaking your fast, of course, probiotics will be included because you're going to get 3 servings a day. So if you eat 3 meals, 3 servings of probiotics. And if that includes some kefir, then that's when you'll have it, is with your meals.
I like that.
I hope I didn't use too many words to say, take it with your meals.
Yes.
I know. Take it with
And
your
then afterwards, don't eat. And that's
Yeah.
also
And
important.
then
And
when
afterwards, don't.
you're fasting because you're allowing your body to do its repair. You're letting it do its repair. A
Well,
top.
let me ask you, because we got Denise here as a focus group. I'm going to ask her if next year magically Sid put out a Sid Fit cookbook, would you buy it?
That's a good question. You know, it's funny. I do take pictures of my recipes as I prepare meals because I want people to see what the macronutrient distribution is. One of my biggest hurdles when I started cutting down on the carbohydrates was figuring out what am I going to eat if I don't eat toast? What am I going to eat if I don't eat a tortilla? What am I going to put on my plate if I don't have a big bowl of rice? What am I going to do? Well, remember, I was cutting down my weight from 197 to where it is now, around 140. So that's a lot of visceral fat around the midsection I had to burn off. So I cut
Hmm.
those carbs down pretty low. It was pretty much keto, 20 grams or less a day for at least the first 6 months when I first instituted a low
So
carb.
then think of the impact that that could have. Right now, we've got comments in the chat. I thought of that and wanted to suggest it. Thank you. I'd be the first to buy that cookbook. Thank you.
Ah,
As a matter of fact, I can't wait for him to get that book out. So I think we know what 2025's
well,
got in store for us.
when I get a team that is willing to compile the information and recipes that I've already shared, we can put all that together. I don't think it'll be very hard for us to put together a cookbook
Imagine, and with some
in
videos
a
invited to your
very short period
community.
of time, just based on the
Very cool.
content that we've already created online. And
That's right. Don't wait too long. We got comments. I agree. We're going to start that. We're going to ponder during the holidays. Amen.
amen. What else do we have?
That is so wonderful. Okay, I've got contact info for Sid and for myself over there. If you don't know me, because I didn't introduce myself, my name's Natan. I've been an elite energy coach for about 30 years. I started with Cirque du Soleil, Olympians, national sports teams, had about 15,000 people go through my hands. And when the pandemic hit and I wanted to come online, I felt silly because the technology didn't play nice. The marketing, I always felt slow, like I'm doing last week's marketing, and that's why it's not working. And I really wanted to come in a completely different way to blow a dog whistle to a target audience, executives, leaders, C-suite, those whales that everyone wants to go. And coming from a not-for-profit background, we really wanted to help serve those that serve others. So it's been a blessing that we've had a chance to work with Sid. If you know anyone that we can help share their light and their love and get their message out in the world, reach out to me. Love to say hello. Love to see if we can help others as well.
Yay!
My pleasure.
Time. Keep spreading the good word and helping those that want to help others, my friend.
Amen.
Why don't I wrap up with the last point that was in the outline that I had presented to you guys. I believe I'm still sharing. So let's see what the last one was. Oh, here it is. Can you see this? Is it sharing?
Nope.
Okay, hang on. It's not sharing because I'm not good at this sort of thing. So let me just pull this up and share this real quick. Okay, if you can
There we
see it
go.
now, the
Yep,
number
you're in.
6, the last part. I just want to end on this note because many people are too hard on themselves. And
Mm,
we don't want anyone to sabotage themselves because every person has a monkey in their brain that is doubting them, discouraging them, and saying you failed, I don't think you can do it. So let's address that. Be
mm.
patient, be forgiving, and be flexible. So first, patient. Even if you're trying to lose weight, remember the body will resist at first. So don't be discouraged if your initial progress is very slow. For instance, if you're trying to get rid of fat around your waistline, that visceral fat, until your body knows that it's going to have low insulin for a long period of time, until your
Mm,
body really gives up because it wants to stay where it is, eating that ice cream and the bonbons and having constant cravings and keeping you in a state of junkiehood where you can't even think,
mm,
oh, I got to get something now, and put some more sugar in this. You're going to be in that state until you defeat that negative urge. And you do that by working in the positive,
Oh,
lowering
cool.
lowering your insulin and blood sugar. The cravings start to reduce. I try to coach people through some little hacks to help them get over those light urges as they start to dissipate. I help them through those times. So if the body may resist it first, but once that insulin starts to stay low because your diet is finally in a quality space and you're giving yourself nightly fasting, the body will submit and the waistline will come down. All of
I
that
like that.
will shrink. It will come down, but don't be discouraged. Okay. Trust the work, as any star athlete will tell you.
Yeah.
Trust the work. It will show up when it's time to perform. And trust the process. Your body will respond positively. And you should know that while you're making this progress, you're going to start to feel better. And that positive inspiration that comes from sleeping better, feeling better when you're awake, that's going to help to keep you going. So, one, be patient. Be forgiving. Be
I like that.
forgiving. You're going to stray off your plan. You're going to mess it up. So what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cross your heart, forgive yourself, and then just continue on with the program. Continue on with the plan. Forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Oh, I can't do it. Forget it. Open up a bottle of whiskey, a case of beer, and give me that cake and a pizza. Let's get a pizza delivered. And while we're at it, what else can I think of that's ultra processed and taxes delivered? Let's have some of that too. Don't worry about that. If you stray off, get up the next day, say, okay, let's keep the carbs today to under 50 grams, like Coach Sid and I discussed, and then to continue on. So just pick up and continue with the plan and forgive yourself. Okay. If
I like
you,
that.
if you make yourself feel guilty and ashamed, you will defeat yourself. Forgive
Yeah. You're
yourself.
looking at a cortisol reaction. You're looking at a lot of different stuff, and that's
Yeah.
not going to help.
You're looking at quitting.
Feel nervous and hungry, and yeah, you're going to
You're going to
mess
quit.
up for sure.
And when you have those high stress hormones, that also causes sugar cravings, by the way. So stay calm. And then
I like that.
lastly, let's be flexible. Circumstances change. You've got to go to an event. You got to travel to Nebraska. You got to do this. You're not going to be able to eat on this schedule. I'm going to have to eat what's at the airport. Be flexible.
Yeah.
Life
Yeah.
interferes. So we adapt and we overcome. I know a low carb guy who, when he travels and he's at the airport, he'll go to McDonald's and he'll get the burgers and stuff and he'll just remove the buns and not put ketchup on them, because in America, ketchup is filled with corn syrup, which is mostly fructose, 50, 60, 70, 80% fructose, uh, fructose, period. Which only the liver can break up. So it puts more pressure on your liver, which we're trying to give the liver a chance to renew itself. This high
Right.
starch, high sugar, high carbohydrate, high fructose diet has people having scarring of their liver at younger and younger ages. And this sort of liver damage used to never occur in earlier generations, previous generations. It used to never occur
Mhm.
unless a person was a stone, fifth a day whiskey drinking alcoholic.
Whoa.
Let's be clear. And now we've got children that have liver scarring because of these snacks and this and that. We've gotten off the track of truth, and the misinformation is affecting public health. And people are getting fatter and fatter. What, 75% of all Americans now are overweight or
That's not cool, man. My God,
we
that's not
that's
cool.
why I'm in this campaign. That's why I'm in this game, is because with knowledge, those that listen can start to reverse this statistical trend of illness
Yes.
that bears on the family. It's expensive. It's the top cause of bankruptcy in families right now, is what? A health crisis. A health
Yeah, the
crisis.
medical bill.
It's expensive and it bankrupts everyone in the family. If we can
Yeah.
avoid this cascade of illnesses, from obesity that leads to, say, diabetes, metabolic dysfunctions, kidney disease, prostate,
Yeah.
cervical issues in women, so many things, early dementia and loss of memory in people at younger and younger ages. 2/3 of all new Alzheimer's cases here are women now. What are we eating or drinking that has made women twice as likely to have dementia? We have to address that through lifestyle, through what we eat,
Mm.
doctor's sleep, and through movement, how we're utilizing our bodies to, because remember, movement of the body and muscles produces healthy hormones when you use them. So how we're using our body is also our greatest tool, along with diet and with meditation and group support. And those are the pillars that I was sharing with you guys. So
Like that.
I just wanted to say that. So let's be forgiving. And I think then if we do that, we can make progress. Over time, your
Mm.
habits will change. You'll start to see results. You'll be encouraged by sleeping
Mm.
better, feeling better, having better control of your emotions and your moods, having
Yeah.
your clothes fit better, being able to trot up the stairs for a change when before
Yeah.
you had to stop halfway up the flight. To have
Yeah.
those improvements in your quality of life is what I really would like to see happen to a larger and larger portion of our population. And I'm not the only expert. I'm not the only airline you can fly, but I've got a track record and a lifestyle that speaks for itself. And I'm 100% dedicated to what I'm doing. So if anybody wants to travel along with me, I trust myself. So I trust that I won't let you down. I don't
I
have
like
much
that.
else to add, Natan.
I like that, man. Well, we've got already a couple pre-orders for your upcoming cookbook, so we've got some fun in the sun coming up for next year. It's going to be a very,
Oh
very warm
God,
winter after all.
I hate this part of the job. Who's gonna put this cookbook together? I'm just in the kitchen cooking. I improvised tonight and made a new recipe.
Right? We're going to have some videos attached to it. It's going to be very cool. People will get to join your community and we're going
I
to spin
I
it off to your book. It's going to be fun in the sun.
I hope so. I hope so.
The book launch party is going to be exciting. Dan's going to come join us, I'm sure. It's
Well,
going to be
Diane, I
awesome.
think Diane just pulled out. My friend, I am going to bid you adieu, unless there's any way that anything that you want me to do. I don't know how you necessarily close out. I'm looking in the chat right now, and I see that, that you've got the some links there for yourself, for me.
Yep.
Um,
So
okay,
everyone there should have it, and you've got your feedback right there. I'd be the first to buy that cookbook, so you're good.
that's the cutest thing. Uh,
Yep. And I will sign off for all of us. This has been the most impressive Sid Fit qualifier boot camp yet. We've got more coming up for next year. Join the community, join the cool new places that we're going to be playing. Hear more of Sid, get involved, show some love, reach out, have a one-on-one.
yeah,
Know that your messaging and your personal growth that you're on with your own personal journey isn't something we're going to be doing here in group generically at a 60,000 foot overview. You got to do that privately, one-on-one. Reach out so that you can have a custom, tailor-made solution just for you. No cookie cutter off the shelf stuff. Sid's going to be the one to help you with that. Welcome back, Diane. I had a feeling she'd pop back in.
Diane, we're closing out now, so I just wanted to say goodbye and thank you for sitting in during this conversation that I've had
Okay,
with Natan. Thanks
okay, thank you.
thanks for the
Yeah, I
You
think
know
question.
for
what?
some reason my internet, my data just kept kicking me off, but
It's
yeah,
okay. It's okay.
No worries.
It's been a pleasure to have you to sit in with us, and we're just getting started. 2025 is going to be a very big year, and
I'm excited.
I'm just pleased that the team is starting to assemble itself, and we're starting to get the hang of this. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope I can help a larger and larger audience as we go forward.
for sure, for sure. At least I'm counting on it. I am
Thank you.
counting on
Thank
it.
you.
I'm
Now,
counting on
Dan,
it
I'm
too.
inviting you to come next time. We're going to make sure
Yeah,
you get a special invitation. Bring a friend or two, have some fun. Anybody you think this
Mhm.
can serve or help, by all means, we'd love to have that group.
Yes, for sure. No problem.
okay.
And thank you once again, guys, for facilitating this. So thank you, thank you.
Thanks,
Our
Diane.
pleasure. Talk
Natan,
soon.
talk to you
Yes,
soon.
sir.
Okay, buddy.
Okay,
We
press
got work to do.
stop recording on your end to make sure that we've got it confirmed.